Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to the In-Service Skills Enhancement Program, ISEP, presented by Vidyadaan Foundation. I am Shweta Batra, and I'm delighted to take you through today's session. Let me start by introducing Vidyadaan Foundation to our audience. Vidyadaan is a transformative non-profit organization dedicated to empowering underprivileged children, youth, and women through education. With a strong focus on quality education, Vidyadaan is working to unlock the potential of disadvantaged children across India. In addition to providing education, the foundation conducts teacher training programs to raise the quality of teaching in schools. As educators, staying updated with the latest trends and developments in education sector is crucial. Moreover, as per the policy requirements, every education professional is expected to complete 50 hours of continuous professional development annually. The ISEP is designed to help educators fulfill this requirement. We are proud to have trained over 17,000 teachers across India and are committed to extending this program to educators from the CBSE, ICSE, and state board schools. The ISCP is a capacity building program aimed to enhancing teaching skills, introducing the latest educational trends, and equipping educators with the tools they need to succeed. The sessions are engaging and informative, conducted by industry experts. The session details are as follows. Every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m., participants who successfully complete the session will receive a valid e-certificate confirming 1 hour of training. Here's the process of earning your certificate. After the speaker's presentation, we will share a questionnaire based on the content covered. To qualify for the certificate, you need to score 7 or more. The Google form link must be completed before leaving the meeting. For those interested in receiving the e-certificate, there is a nominal fee of ₹100. The certificate will be sent on your WhatsApp number within 7 working days. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for today. Today we have Mrs. Sonia Wadhwa. She's here to share her expertise with us on the topic 360-degree assessment strategy. With 25 years of experience in educational technology, Mrs. Sonia Wadhwa is an EdTech specialist, academic leader, content writer, and passionate computer science facilitator. She specializes in curriculum design for math, ICT, and computer science, and has authored books for the ICSE Math and CBSE Computer Science and AI courses. A strong advocate for the SDG 4, Madam has trained over 15,000 educators and 8,000 students on digital skills in the last 3 years. Mrs. Wadhwa is a resource person for the CIT, NCERT, CBSE, and various nonprofits working to bridge the digital divide. She has received multiple awards, including recognition from Adobe, NCERT, Bennett University, and nominated for the National ICT Award by CICSE. It's indeed a matter of great pleasure, Madam, and a warm welcome to you. We are truly honored to have you, Madam.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, if you have any important questions during the session, please feel free to share them on the chat and we'll try to address them if time permits. Now, over to you, Madam, for the much anticipated session. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Vidyadaan Foundation, for inviting me for this session. The topic that we are going to discuss today is really of great importance. So I would, before I start, I have posted the link of a poll kind of form which has 2 simple questions. So if I may get the feedback of the audience, and if the text team can also post it on the YouTube chat, so that I get some understanding of what is the feedback of our audience, like how well versed they are with today's topic, and we will take it from there basis the responses from the audience. So I'm just waiting for 2 minutes for the audience to take this poll, and I get some understanding.
So Team Vidyadaan, you're requested to paste the link on the YouTube channel so that the responses can be received and we can go ahead with things. We'll take a minute because we always have a 30-second lag. So we'll
No
wait for it.
worries. Meanwhile, I'll just share my screen and
I once again request Team Vidyadaan to share the link that has been shared by Madam on our chat.
okay, so we will move
I
ahead.
think the link has just been shared, Madam.
Okay,
It
so
is NB38
give
use.
it a minute and then we will maybe move on.
Yeah, it has been shared. So let us see if we are able to get responses.
Okay. No worries, ma'am. I think
Haven't yet
I will
got any response, Madam. Can we?
I'll start and then I'll come back to it to see. So
Will do.
the topic for today is 360-degree assessment. Now, 360-degree assessment is not something which is really a new topic or a hot topic. This has been in existence from mid 20s, I would say. Earlier, the term 360-degree assessment was a buzzword in the corporates and for the senior employees to get feedback from their line manager. So this term is pretty new in the, I would say, education sector when NCF and NEP talked about it. So then it became a buzzword in the education industry. Otherwise, 360-degree assessment is here from last many years. Now, there is a thin line difference between these two terms, 360-degree assessment and holistic assessment. So 360-degree assessment is definitely a holistic assessment, but the two terms are used for two different purposes. Holistic assessment is used for the all-round development of the student to whom or the learner about whom we are talking. So if we are saying about holistic development, any institution which provides opportunity not only merely for academics, but for physical development, for spiritual development, for the psychomotor skills, the language development. So the entire umbrella talks about the holistic approach to the student teaching learning process. So a holistic assessment is to evaluate the child's overall development and progress rather than the progress in just one specific area. However, when we talk about 360-degree assessment, 360-degree assessment is an approach to assessment covering feedback from multiple sources. So there was an old saying, say for example, if somebody is taking feedback about someone from just one person, and that person is not having very strong opinion or a positive feedback about the other person, then we should not form opinion about that. So पहले लोग कहा करते थे keep your eyes and ears open, कान का कच्चा नहीं होना चाहिए, एक की बात सुन के decision नहीं लेना चाहिए. So informal way maybe 360-degree assessment has been here from years. So now when we are talking about it in the education perspective or from that point of view, it means an approach that covers assessment from multiple sources. Now, what are these multiple sources when we talk about the child in the center and 360-degree assessment method for educators? So it is a method that gathers feedback from, so the word important here is feedback. Feedback, it doesn't say report, it says feedback from multiple sources to evaluate an individual's performance. It involves inputs from peers, supervisors, subordinates, and sometimes clients which or parents in school. So now here I've given a general definition which is not related to the school setup or to the context of a child. This is a general feedback. So if we talk about 360-degree assessment, let's say in my school as a head of school, I am, let's say, new to the institution and I want feedback about somebody. So I may not call just the peer teacher. Suppose the teacher is in maths department. So if I really want to get a true feedback, I would ask academic coordinator, I would ask HOD mathematics, I would ask one of the peer teacher in, maths department. And I will also simply walk away to staff room to take feedback from any XYZ person about that person to understand that person better. So 360-degree assessment method gathers feedback from multiple sources pertaining to an individual's performance. Now, when it comes to a child, we will see how it is a term to be which is very important. Now, when this concept was introduced, as I said that this is not a concept which is very, very new. So the concept was introduced in mid 20s. So it was during the Second World War when the US military wanted to assess the leadership skills of the officers through the peer feedback. It is then when they introduced this term. So in the 1990s, an organization began to focus more on employee development and organizational culture. The concept of 360-degree feedback gained popularity and became formalized. Now, there is one thing more. For example, let's say you call me to your school and you say that, I'm being asked to study the culture of your school. Now, if I'm being asked to study the culture of your school, I would go to random people and take feedback about school. I would ask about the head of the school. I would ask about teachers. I would ask about the gentry in the school, maybe parents. So when I take feedback from different stakeholders, I would be able to evaluate the culture. So if people are of compulsive nature, everybody's complaining about school systems, then it's not a happy school. But if people are giving positive feedback, everybody is saying it's a positive place, the head of the school is very passionate, or the teachers are very passionate, then I will get a different kind of feedback and I would be able to study the culture. So at that time, with this thought, the 360-degree feedback system was introduced. Now, why was it introduced? There were multiple reasons. First is to get the broader perspective on performance. In a traditional system, even till date, in some of the organization, what happened? The boss is always right. There is a saying, so there is at the top level, there is somebody who would give feedback about someone and others have no role to play into it. We go to some organization and we say that, इस बंदे की कोऑर्डिनेटर से नहीं बनी इसलिए उसका आज तक इंक्रीमेंट नहीं हुआ, या so and so doesn't have a good rapport with so and so, that's why this problem is there in his performance. So traditional performance system used to involve feedback from a single source. However, 360-degree approach introduced assessment and feedback from multiple sources. That's why it include multiple perspective. Now, it improved accuracy and fairness because there was a diverse group who was involved in taking the input about somebody and the personal biases were not there. Then focus on development rather than evaluation. So you are not only focusing on the weaknesses of somebody, you are seeing how through the feedback somebody can walk on the path of development. Then encouraging a collaborative work environment. When we talk about 360-degree assessment or feedback, then the peers are also engaged in giving the feedback. The top hierarchy is also involved. People from different community which are a part of the process are also involved. So it's an open culture where people communicate and build trust and support each other to go to the next level. Then adapting to changing workplace dynamics. Now, the pace with which technology and with which the new ways of working is causing disruption in the working industry, work from home, work with new technology. The people are supposed to, upskill themselves every now and then. And the dynamics at the workplace are changing. It's no more that if you are having 25 years of experience in the company, you will become the CEO. Even a young 250, 25-year boy who is skilled and who is capable enough of leading a team can become the CEO of the company. So that's why the 360-degree assessment also helps in adapting to changing workplace dynamics. Now, this was a general perspective about 360-degree assessment. Let's come back to our schools, come back to our education industry. So you see, I have drawn this picture with the help of an AI, and AI gave me a beautiful picture. So here I've put in the child in the center. Now, if suppose, let me take you back to olden days. So there was a student who came, who joined your class new, and the child was very cranky. And somehow the child did not settle well in the classroom. So especially you are the mother teacher and it's a preschool setup, and the child did not very well settle in the classroom. Now, on top of that, the parents are also very complice, of complaining nature. Every now and then they will come and complain about school system, child not settling in. So the kind of feedback that you should have about that child as an educator or as a mentor was not the true picture of the child's performance. It might have happened the child was very joyful in the play field. It might have happened the child had a melodious voice, but nobody paid attention to that. So now what happens in a 360-degree assessment, the feedback is collected from different places. So the child feedback is given by his or her teacher, given by parents. I'll show you some sample forms which we tried and tested in our school. So for example, once a theme was, let's say the child studied the animal world, and there is thematic learning in our school. So even the sports teacher does some type of hopping and jumping related to animals. Even in the music class they are singing songs about animals. So the child is learning everything about land animal, water animal, mammals. And same way, parents are also aware that this is going on in school. So once one theme was finished, the feedback was taken from different people. Now, who are these different people? Now, from where the term 360 degree has come. So if you know a little bit of mathematics, the sum of all angles in a circle is 360 degrees. So 360 degree means one full circle. So the child, for child, who is the one making the full circle? The surrounding of the child. So who is there in the surrounding of the child? Teacher is there, his parents are there, his peer friends are there, some coaches, suppose the child goes to any coaching or is getting some sort of mentoring in the school. Maybe the child goes to special educator, maybe the child goes to sports coaching, and goes to music teacher, dance teacher, drama teacher, art teacher. So everybody is giving feedback about the child, and then that child, even the child himself, is giving feedback about his own performance on certain activity. Let's say the child was told how to tie shoelaces, or how to zip buttons. Now the child was taught, and the children are put in the class with a time bound activity, and they are being given 5 zips to be unzipped and rezip, or 5 buttons to be zipped, and they are being asked to tie their shoelaces. Now all the children are, timer is on, and all the children are completing these 3 tasks. Now when the timer gets over, the children are asked to stop. Now some would have done that task much faster, some would be halfway through, some would have just started. Now when the teacher asked children their experience, what happened, how much you could do, was it easy to do, was it difficult, what went wrong, why you could not finish. So there is a lot of conversation that is going on between the child and the teacher, and this kind of conversation is giving a feedback to the child. So child is giving self feedback. Oh, I could have tied my laces little faster. I saw how Navya was tying and I did not tie it that way, and I took the wrong approach. So, or the child could have said, because I had finger in this pain, my pain in my finger, I could not do the zipping faster. So the child himself is also giving feedback on his own performance. Why did it went wrong? So this kind of, assessment is called 360-degree assessment. It collects feedback from all round sources to provide a comprehensive perspective to child. a child who maybe, just sleepy in mathematics class, or just sleepy when the numbers are going on, and is very active in the art class or when their storytelling is going on. So it gives us a lot of clues, when such kind of formative assessment, when such kind of 360-degree assessment is done, it gives a lot of clues. Certain children, they might be dysgraphia, they might be dyscalculia, or so they don't like numbers, they are not very comfortable with them. But when the feedback is taken from different sources, and different people talk about different perspective of child's performance in their classroom, then a different picture of the child comes out, and we get to know many strengths of the child. So typically it is used to evaluate behavioral competencies, interpersonal skills, teamwork, leadership qualities, communication. So it's not only mere about subjects, it is about other different competencies also. So it helps in identifying strengths, blind spots, and areas of development by comparing feedback from different perspectives. Now, as I said, blind spot. So suppose if the feedback for a child was gathered from 10 sources, and only the math teacher said that is very lazy, sleepy, and looks disinterested, but everybody said that he's very, alert in the class and takes interest and is very active, is a good listener, then this is something alarming, that he may have some kind of special learning disability when it comes to numeracy, and a special testing can be recommended for that. So that is the discovery of a blind spot. It helps in finding a blind spot which is a hindrance in the area of development of the child. So that's how the 360-degree assessment help us. Often used as a part of professional development for teachers, employees, and leaders also. As I already told you, that this term is in existence for the educators, for the employees, or for any professional from mid 20s in place. It's not a new term, but yes, we have started to talk about it in the education sector after NEP 2020 and NCF 2022. Now, use of context in education. It is used in schools to not only assess children, but to assess teachers, to assess administrators, as well as to assess students' feedback. So I'll just give you an example. You might have an administrator in the school who is very lazy in his approach. And, you are not happy the way he meets deadlines and the way he approaches work, or he's not at all tech savvy, doesn't respond to parents' mail on time. On vis-a-vis, when you meet some of the parents outside school and they say, your administrator is a people's person, he speaks very softly, and he when we come to school, he gives a patient hearing, he solves a problem. So your perspective changes. One place you have self perspective, and you have perspective from his peers that he is lazy and he doesn't take up work, while somebody is saying he's a people's person and he greets well, he gives them respect, he listens well. So you come to know about other qualities of that individual and your perspective changes. So that is how the same thing happens with students also. And that is why 360-degree assessment is very important. And we use it for student feedback. Now, the purpose is it provides a well-rounded view of how an individual is perceived by others. It enhances self-awareness and support growth, highlighting the strength and areas of improvement. It encourages personal and professional development in organizational settings. Now, I hope it is now clear. If we can, if you people can just say in the chat window, and the session moderator can let me know, are you with me? Are we clear with the term 360-degree assessment? Have you got a fair understanding that it is an assessment that takes everybody's opinion into consideration while reporting for a child? So when we are doing some assessment, reporting is bound to happen. We have to give reporting. So here the term reporting is, rather preferred as pronounced to be pronounced as feedback. So when some assessment has been taken, definitely feedback has to be given. So here the focus is not on marks, the focus is on progress, and the focus is not on evaluating, the focus is on development. So if you have got an understanding of what 360-degree assessment is, maybe if you are joining from YouTube or you are joining from Zoom, I would want you to say at least a yes, and you have understood some sign, and I would request the session moderator to let me know, so that I know that my audience is listening and they have understood what we are trying to convey. So I'll give a 1-minute pause and I'll wait for everybody to respond. Okay, so I could see a few yes. Thank you for your responses. Um, Sija ji, Purvi ji, thank you so much. Nirmala ji, thank you. So let's move on if it is clear. Okay. So we all understand that it is important and we have understood its meaning
Okay,
also.
so I could see a few yes.
Now, I will suggest some ways to conduct 360-degree assessment in early schooling years. Now, why I'm picking up early schooling years? Because the major challenge that comes is when it comes to, senior children. Senior children, teenagers themselves rely more on their friends than parents and teachers. So they keep taking feedback from their friends. How was my presentation today? How did I do in the assembly? Did you like my, class performance? So they themselves keep taking a lot of peer feedback, and they rely on the words of teachers too little bit, and they rely on the words of parents the least. So that's these are some characteristics of teenagers. So teenagers definitely they accept the feedback and they want the feedback, but they are less receptive to that. So it's very important that at early years we focus on 360-degree assessment. And government also as a pilot have introduced the concept of holistic report card, which is the reporting of 360-degree assessment in the early years. So government has done this year pilot of for classes. CBSE is doing pilot for classes 1 and 2. And the different bodies are doing the pilot for different classes of primary classes, school only. So we will also discuss the use cases of 360-degree assessment and the early schooling years. One is PTM. We all do parent teacher conferences. So I think it happens 6 to 7 times in a year in a school. So we have to think about changing the format of those parent teacher meetings. It should not be just 2 minutes, 3 minutes per parent and a tick that yes, parent came and the report was handed over. It has to be minimum 10 to 15-minute conversation, and a good conversation about child's feedback. So schools need to think about figuring out the ways to conduct parent teacher conferences. Maybe you call 10 parents on a day, or maybe you do it in a hybrid mode. The parents who are comfortable attending online, and you share evidences with parents through digital mode and give them concrete 7 to 8 to 10 minutes. So then the child behavior and the learning setup at home and in school has to be discussed. Teachers should share insights from classroom observation. This collaborative approach allows for a comprehensive understanding. I'll just give you one example. There is a child who is not ready to share anything in the classroom, and the parents have never come to know about this habit. The child is just in his own shell. If somebody even touches his anything, he gets very disturbed. Now this is a simple observation which teacher may have in the classroom, but once it is shared with the parents, and teacher can take it one step forward and ask, is he the only child? Do you stay in the nuclear family? How often you meet your friends, or how often your relatives comes to your friend and they have kids of the same age? Have you given your child an opportunity to share things with others? Share things with siblings, share things with cousins. So these kind of conversation can happen. And then parent might say, maybe इसने कभी एक्सपीरियंस ही नहीं किया है कि किसके किसी के साथ अपनी चीजें शेयर करते हैं और कैसे करते हैं. So this is very simple thing. This is now not child's fault. He has not learned it in his natural setup. That's why he is behaving differently when somebody tries to take anything from him in the classroom. So maybe teacher has observed this and parents have and brought it to the notice of parent. Then what is the action required? The parent might say, okay, we will try to take him during the weekends to some of our friends' house, those who have kids of the same age, and we will encourage him to share his toys, or maybe with our mates or our assisting staff's children. We will create opportunity for him to play together and share toys. So it's just one simple value, but you are teaching child lot many things to this. So parent teacher conferences can happen. Then peer observation in a classroom, teacher can arrange student to observe each other during play activity. They can share feedback, encourage social interaction. and help children develop communication skills while reinforcing positive behaviors. So teachers can mindfully, make buddies. So if there are two slow learners, teachers can avoid making them sitting together. If there is one child who's a little faster and smart and another child who needs little help, so they can, make them sit together and ask them to observe each other. The one who is smarter, then it needs to be, the teacher need to give instruction like that, that you are buddies. Maybe one can be good at one thing, another one can be good at another thing. So you finish your task and observe and see if your friend need any help. And then the teacher can take feedback. How was the activity for you? How was it for your friend? What went wrong with your friend or what went wrong with you? They can give feedback about self and about peers. So such activities can give them real-time feedback through peer observations. The teachers can help children develop their individualized portfolio, which include contributions from parents, teachers, and even the children themselves. So if at times, let's say it's the Shara and children are doing some activity, they're doing some coloring activity, paper craft activity, the child teacher can put that in the portfolio and, can write certain observations that how was child when the child was doing this activity in a very happy mood, or was a little sad, was slow, struggled by while holding the scissors, or could not use the glue himself. So these give a lot of, insights and different perspectives to parents, as well as later on also to teachers, to support children in certain areas. Then regular check-ins. The educators can set up regular check-in setup sessions involving teachers, parents, and children themselves. For example, having a pot breakfast, having a Christmas party together, having a grandparents' day. So create opportunities where certain competencies like social skill, emotional development, learning milestones are achieved. So, I'll just tell you one example. In our school, we were to organize some activity and we were discussing, we are going to call up your parents, they will come here. So one child said, ma'am, which day you would do it? So suppose we said on Friday. No, then my mama will not come. I will be sitting alone. Everybody's parent will come. She's a working woman. So please do it on a Saturday or a Sunday. Otherwise, my mama will not come. So children, have these kind of emotional aspects which are, which come out or through these kind of discussions, or through these kind of events. And there are, some parents, those who are hard pressed against time, and they are working parents, both mother and father are working. So when the school create these kind of opportunities and make it mandate for the parents to come and attend, you can really see the happiness and the spark in the eyes of those children, that today for 2 hours or 3 hours, my parent was there with me in my school. We played together, we did coloring together, we had breakfast together. So these things really make difference. Now, feedback on art projects. So, art integration, do not think here art as the art subject. It is about the opportunity provided to the children to express themselves, which could be through colors, which could be through, certain figures, which could be through pasting certain things. So it focuses, the child can present their art projects to the class. For example, think about show and tell activities. So you have taught community helpers, let's say, to the children. You ask them that, tomorrow you go discuss with your parents what you learned today. We saw a presentation on about 30-40 community helpers. So which one you feel is doing good job, or maybe you want to become one. Let's say you want to become a pilot, or you want to become a security agency head. So you tomorrow you come, dress up like that and bring a picture. So the child is presenting themselves through either costume or through artwork and talking about it. They're doing some artistic expression. So this is also a kind of, an opportunity to conduct 360-degree assessment. Observation journal, that in nowadays, observation journals can be collaborative with parents. So teachers can even set up one online notebook for each child. Or, if you can afford to send, the almanac is something which is an offline observation journal, which we all have in our school. So parents and teachers can write remarks about child's behavior, child's milestone. The schools, if if the schools use good ERP, the ERP also has a communication option. The parents can communicate with the parent. The teachers can communicate with the parents and then write their day-to-day observation. And it gives, creates opportunity to understand the child better collaboratively and take part in the child's development. children-led conferences. So this is something which we can think of classes 4, 5, and 6 upwards, not children below that. So, children can be asked to lead certain events. They can be asked to maybe, organize a maths quiz, organize a GK quiz. They can be quiz masters. They can organize an art mela. You can have a junior student council. So then they showcase their skills like collaboration, dialogue, perspective, communication, digital content creation. They can be engaged in creating posters, presentations. So this is again a great opportunity to conduct 360-degree assessment. Thematic surveys. So, for example, take it like that. Let's say the schools which deal with the curriculum theme wise. Now you have finished a theme. Let's say let me go back to the examples of plant theme. So let's say you have finished plant themes in the school, and you have asked each child that this plant belongs to you. So one child, one plant, and you have told the child that during the break time you please go and water this plant. This is your baby plant and you have to take care of it, and have to do it for 20 years till it grows to a certain length. So you have assigned the duty of taking care of that plant to that child. Now your bigger objective learning outcome was that children should develop empathy for the nature, and they should take care of the plants everywhere. Now, so the child is doing it very well as soon as the lunch break happens. And if he has to refill his water bottle, he doesn't waste water. He goes to that plant, water the plant, take care of it, ask Mali Bhaiya to shift its, कि उसको मिट्टी ऊपर नीचे कर दीजिए so that the plant can breathe. It is not growing. It is, looking dull. So we train them through all of that. Now, once the entire theme is finished, you have given a form to the parent to the assessment. The child takes, and you have asked parent to rate, is the child beginning or developing or achieving, and you have asked parents to give the feedback that child is able to look after the plants very well and has arose empathy towards nature. Let's say that is the one of the criteria of assessment. Now the teacher is giving excellence, seeing what the child is doing in the class. But at home, parents is writing, he has, he's not even beginning. He's least bothered. We have 20 plants outside. He never says that I have to go to the kitchen garden or I will give water, and he doesn't look after it. He has no sense of connection with the plants. Now there is something which the school is getting a feedback कि हमने बच्चों को plants पढ़ाए, हमने बच्चों को task भी दिया करने के लिए, लेकिन they did it merely as a task. Somehow we fail to arouse that empathy towards nature and that skill of taking care of plants among our children. They're just doing it like in any other exercise in the school, and they're not taking this value home. So this whole purpose of giving them this value of taking care of nature and keeping your surroundings greener and taking care of plants is not happening. So they are just doing it merely as an activity. And when this important feedback came out for both parents and for both teachers and students, when after completing the theme, you gave a survey form to parents, and the teachers also filled the form for the child. Now I'll show you some example. So this is how for example, this is a form where we are asking parents after finishing a theme for them to give feedback about their own child. So this is parent observation form on the basis of theme plants, and the teachers are given clear instruction. If your child is achieving, what is the excelling, what is the criteria? If it is achieving, what is the criteria? If it is developing, if it is beginning, the 4 parameters are given. Now there are, child can name common vegetables in English and Hindi. Now the parent has to tick. Enjoys eating fruits. Now the parent might say, that child loves eating fruits because at home he sits with grandparents, watches TV, eats fruits. While in school, he's not interested in eating fruits. He's looking at the tiffin boxes of other friends, those who are bringing, maybe pasta or maybe any junk food. He's more interested in looking there and is not at all interested in finishing his own fruit or looking at the fruit of somebody else. So the teacher has an opinion of developing or beginning. So parents and teachers might have totally different perspective about the same child in different environments. So this brings out a lot of opportunities for them to sit and discuss what is happening right and what is happening wrong. So this is a form which was being given to the parent. So parent is giving feedback कि घर पे बच्चा कैसे करता है, sits nicely on a chair and eats his food, eat food without help, eats food without spilling. So suppose the parent is writing, he is excelling, but in the school he is spilling all over. So teacher can, then take an opportunity, say child that aap ghar pe to bahut अच्छे से खाते हो, and we know that mama was telling you keep the place absolutely clean. Why don't you do the same in the school? This is also your second home. So there can be multiple opportunities for discussion and for helping the child to develop. Now you see here, to my surprise, I was thinking when we give such kind of forms to parents, they will only take it excelling and achieving. हम अपने घर में भी, मतलब हम स्कूल में भी देखते हैं कि जब हम इस तरह का फीडबैक भी टेक इट फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स, पेरेंट्स कभी अपने बच्चों को डी ग्रेड नहीं देते हैं. Parents always give A grade, B grade. That was our thought process also. But once we explained the purpose of this 360-degree assessment to parents and told them that an honest feedback is absolutely needed, then only we'll be able to bridge the gap. There can be certain things for which the child is just beginning in the school and you feel he's just fabulous at home, and it can be vice versa also. So you see this purple band, 9%. So there are many components for which parents themselves have said my child is beginning, which is really encouraging and worth applauding, that parent is opening up and giving true feedback. Now you see this another form which was created for teachers to give their feedback. So teachers are also giving feedback on the child. This is about class KG and theme plants. So it says that if you come here, and let's see this one. It says recognizes and draw parts of plants. Plants need, he can draw things needs plants to grow, fruits and vegetable in an environment. Recite theme related rhymes and songs. Now we are not asking parents this question, but asking teacher. At times there can be questions which only teachers know, they have done it in the school, and maybe parent would never, would not pay minute attention to such things at home. So the teacher form can be slightly different than parent form also, and they can have about 80% similar questions also. Then basis the result, the schools can deep dive, and the parent teacher can the teachers can collate the data and can do assessment, analysis, and give report to the parents. आपको लग रहा है कि ये ऐसे घर पे नहीं कर रहा है, इन एरियाज में ये स्कूल में कर रहा है, और इस एरियाज में ये स्कूल में नहीं कर रहा है, पर ये घर में कर रहा है. So we need to explain the child, maybe this is what we can do to help him excel at home. Maybe this is what we can do to help him excel in the school. So these are the opportunities which 360-degree assessment creates. Another important strategy is reflection circle. So as we said that 360 degrees about the circle only, the complete full circle of feedback. So host regular reflection circles in the classroom where children discuss their learning experiences and how they are feeling about various activities. And teachers and parents are encouraged to join and provide feedback. So demo, day in the school, how the child's day look like in the school. So you conduct a plethora of activities, invite that day parents to observe and sit with them in the class, and then maybe we can discuss the feedback with children and parent, that how the activity went, and what excited them the most and which was the boring part. And this is also a way to take feedback. We talked about students portfolio. Digital portfolios nowadays are again great ways to even make a collaborative portfolio for the child, where parents, teachers, and even peers can upload photos, videos, and notes about learning experiences. And regular reviews of these portfolio can involve all stakeholder reflecting and giving personalized feedback. Last strategy is role playing. So role playing activities can also incorporate real life situations where teachers can discuss, observe, and gather feedback from children's performance and about their feeling and experience. And parents can also share their thoughts on how children handled certain situations at home. So for example, if you tell a child that there is heavy rains and you are in your home with your parents and you see the water has started to log in. So what will you do? How will you help your parents? So in the school, teacher can show through certain videos and giving demo. Now you ask parents, did when he went back, did he tell something? Did he said that when there will be heavy rains, we can do this? So you can ask children to go home, enact the way teacher enacted in the school, and tell it to mama papa ki aaj humne kya seekha. Then you can ask parents ki did he express his feeling, could you understand what he learned in the school? So these kind of collaborative exercises help. So I was saying that any assessment is of no use till it is reported or the feedback is given. So what NEP and NCF recommends that the 360-degree assessment, which is happening in the school by taking feedback from different stakeholders, which are peers, parents, teachers, and maybe even the other coaches and professional staff who deal with the student, uh, that feedback has to be converted into a report card. So they are not calling it as a report card. I am sorry for the term which I used. Holistic report card is now changed to holistic progress card. They're calling it as progress card. Now there is a short video. I'll come back to it if the time permits. Else I'll give you the link in the chat window so you can watch it. It's a lovely video. I'll just, before I conclude, I'll share the link or play it depending on the time. But let me just move on and, just show you other aspects what I want to discuss. So holistic progress card is National Curriculum Framework's holistic progress card emphasizes on quality assessment over traditional marks and grades. So इसके पहले वाले वीडियो में the resource person is telling this only, says that there was a teacher, he was in his class and he conducted an English dictation. So he gave 10 words and he asked everybody to do the peer correction. And then he said, you all do the correction, then I will sign. So when everybody did the correction and he gave the correct spelling, the children were after him. So please give marks. I have got 10 on 10. Maybe I've got 10 on 7. You write, you. So he said, no, I will not write marks. But then the other children said, everybody writes mark. Why you are not writing marks? So he said, when you are on the play field and, do you ask for marks when you fell, when you run fast? No. When you are in the art class, do you ask for marks? The teacher gives you feedback that you could have done the coloring like this and made the mountains like this, or you could have used, that kind of brush, then it would have been better. So when in all of these areas of your development, you are getting feedback and you are improving basis verbal feedback or basis, what the teacher explains you, why you need marks here in the subjects to improve. You have all have got feedback, you've got correct spellings, I have told you about the phonetics, how to pronounce it and then generate parallelly the spelling, then why do you want marks? So he changed the perspective, and then he's also one of the main contributor, the teacher from Gujarat that you will check in the video once I'll share the link, is also one of the important entity in defining holistic progress card in NCF. So that was the whole purpose or ethos, is to take away children from marks, but then create rubric for them. For example, I was a senior PGT for 25 years. So when we used to give projects to the students, we'll give a success criteria. If you want, your project to be judged 100% or judged excellent, this is the success criteria or rubric. 25% evaluation will be on the use of the problem statement and the context how you solved it. 25% will be the use of programming code, how efficient it was. Remaining 25% was basis the whether the output which was supposed to come has come or not. And finally 25% on documentation and quality of the final project. So we would give them a rubric that out of 10 marks, 2.5 is for this, 2.5 is for this, and then the child knows. So even if the child has submitted the project, the child need not to wait for the teacher to tell marks. In 99% of cases in my journey, the students will tell me, ma'am, aap mujhe full doge because I have done this. And some children would say, ma'am, I might lose 1.5 year because I think I missed putting variable description table for which there was 1 mark in the rubric. So if you tell them success criteria or rubric, they are able to self-evaluate. And this is what we have to, holistic report card talks about. Now I'm going to show you one primary school sample report card, holistic report card. So, however, this is one pilot which the school has done, as CBSE recommended that we have to go for holistic report card this year for classes 1 and 2. So this was a pilot which was done, and we are seeing one sample. However, there are 5-6 samples which are available, um, in the NCF document itself and HPC document. So you could take the samples from there also and inspiration to develop your own sample. So the first page talks about the basic information about the child, which is name, parents' details, and weight, height, and the child's photograph. And the second page shows about the family tree, who all are in the family. Then learner profile, we train them to put the picture of their best work, which they are very proud of, that they did the best work. Then self-assessment, activities that I enjoy the most, activities that I find difficult to do, activities that I enjoy doing with my friends. Then we created an opportunity for peer feedback. Then parents feedback, my child enjoys reading, writing. So my child enjoys creating greeting card or writing letters for family and friend. My child can be supported for public speaking, expressing feeling and emotions. So this is parents feedback. Then teachers feedback on area of development, on different areas of development, language, literature, Hindi language, English language, then cognitive and development and numeracy skill, environmental awareness, uh, co-curricular areas of development, information and technology, dance, music, art and craft, spiritual aspect. So the teacher feedback on multiple areas which we cover in the school, then our elaborated remarks, and then signature of the authorities. So this is a sample holistic progress card which is doing 360-degree reporting. So if your report card creates an, I'll just summarize by saying that if your report card creates opportunity to report or to provide feedback about a child from parents, from teachers, from peers, and from other coaches and mentors who are involved in the child's development, then it is your uh, holistic progress card. So thank you so very much for patiently listening to me. I'll conclude by saying, summarize, and then I open the floor for question answers. So 360-degree assessment, unlike the other assessments which we used to get, if I pick up my report card, so I have a report card of myself and my children right from, maybe classes 4, 5 till their entire schooling cycle. So the report card only shows the marks. And off late, the teacher started to write 2 to 3 line remarks. And there is an attendance component. But if I see the holistic report progress card now, which reports the 360-degree assessment, it is really overwhelming and it gives true picture about the child. So, about my children, when I see I have got some certificates which are separate from report card. So let's say my child got a certificate in clay molding, my child got a certificate in public speaking, my child got a certificate in swimming, then my child got a certificate in social service, but that is nowhere reported in his report card. And when he tries to get admission somewhere, they ask for the report card, and the report card unfortunately talks only about the marks. But consider, let us appreciate the vision of NEP 2020 and the value that the document is going to add. The holistic progress card now, which is the outcome of 360-degree assessment, shows every minute feedback about the child and his areas of development, how strong he is with the languages, with the cognitive skills, with this, in the sports field, in music, in dance, in art, what are the areas of improvement that parents feel, how school can support the child, how child himself feels about him, that at this stage what are his strengths and what are his weaknesses. And these are beautiful document. So I now feel, now my children have grown up, if that kind of report cards were given to them when they were young, I would have had a box full of memories. This was the kind of work, his best work, when he was in class 5 and when he was in class 6. So he wrote such beautiful creative writing. So I think 360-degree assessment is a beautiful initiative that is being started. And all educators and the entire education fraternity should leverage this beautiful opportunity to assess children using the 360-degree assessment tools. And Parak is one beautiful tool which is already available for us. We could use Parak. We could use the sample of HPC, which is already available and released by CBSE, and there are there in NPC also, in NCF document also. So I'm sure these resources will help you. And as promised, I'm putting the link of one of the video that I wanted to show, but I gave you the gist of that. And with that, I am done from my side about the whatever I wanted to deliver. If there are any questions, ma'am, please let me know. If anybody has any question in the chat window, so we could take those questions. And I would request IT team to share the link of this YouTube video in the on the YouTube live chat also.
Yes, thank you, Sonia ji, for this very, very insightful session. I guess, what you were talking about is that the blind spot that is there, which many a times makes things very difficult for the students because everything goes unnoticed. This 3-degree assessment strategy definitely takes care of it. And at the same time, also, as you were very elaborately stating that how teachers must take a 10-15 minutes interaction with the parents, I think there it's very important that they carefully orchestrate whatever they need to communicate, as well as it's extremely important, as you were saying, I wish my children had got this kind of feedback. So it's extremely important that parents also are equally welcoming and take, the kind of desired steps that have been recommended so that, proper line and length can be designed for an effective, constructive, overview and progress or movement thereon. So I think with that, I guess there is a lot of positive emojis coming forward and very informative session is what the feedback I'm getting, which is very encouraging. I request the team once again to share the link which has been shared by ma'am. That's regarding the YouTube link, right? Which gives an insight on the 360-degree purview of whatever resources are available for teachers to use. So I request the team to do that. And the viewers, the feedback link has been shared. Before you leave, please fill in the attendance and the questionnaire. Don't forget to make the payment if you wish to receive the certificate. In case you do not receive the certificate within 7 working days, please email us at vidyadaantrainings@gmail.com, including the following details for prompt assistance. The details will be your name, your school name, the topic of the session, WhatsApp number, today's date, as well as the session number, which is 022. With this, yes, the YouTube link has been shared. I request the teachers to take note of these important resources being shared by our expert today. With that, I would like to thank you once again, Sonia ji, for this very enlightening session. And I am sure that teachers are well equipped to take this to another step, to another level, and for the well-being of our students and the development of our generation next. With
So
that,
just one line I want to add, that if your school doesn't have a very progressive ERP, like we got with the report card that I showed you, we replicated it in our ERP. So some part of it was filled by parents, some part was filled by teachers, and some part teachers made students to sit with next to them and ask them to self-assess, and peer assessment was filled in by them. So if you do not have, there is no problem at all. You can even create printed templates and send it home. Parents can fill it, can come back, and you can file it in one and make it as holistic progress card. If that is also not an opportunity to, send so many printouts and whatever, you can make a kind of, you can have your almanac design in such a way that, almanac, half of the pages are for general information. At the end, there are sections. Then for every activity, you have one student feedback, parent feedback, teacher feedback, and you can use almanac also as a repository to get constructive feedback about, or the 360-degree assessment about child.
I think this is really a very practical, easy solution where, there is a tight on resources. I think this is a very good idea. And also, I believe the teachers must be finding this very Herculean task to begin with, but rest assured that it's a wonderful way. Once you get into the flow of things, it's very easy, and you get more organized with things. You also know where you need to head and where we are also falling short as teachers. So wonderful, madam, and it was a great session. Thank you so much, and we look forward
Thank you,
to
everybody. Thank you.
all our viewers next Saturday again at the same time. Thank you once again. Thank you, Vidyadan. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.